10 most dangerous places for women travelers, and how to stay safe. Here, we list the 10 most dangerous places for solo female travelers' safety concerns, as well as tips on how to protect yourself while traveling. Number 1. Egypt. Why it's so dangerous. This country topped the list of dangerous places, and a warning to travelers about going to Egypt. A number of terrorist groups, including ISIS, have committed multiple deadly attacks in Egypt, targeting government officials and security forces. Public venues, tourist sites, civil aviation and other modes of public transportation, and a diplomatic facility. Don't advise avoiding the country entirely. How to stay safe. Be on your guard. Egyptian men can be aggressive, especially in crowded markets. Female guide would not visit the markets, because the merchants would harass her mercilessly if the tourists didn't stop at their stalls. It is key to respect local dress norms in Egypt and avoid attracting attention. Cover your shoulders and knees. Very loose clothing that covers your wrists, ankles and even hair are better. Be aware that eye contact can be considered flirting. Some travelers find it helpful to wear sunglasses. If you do use the metro, seek out women's carriages. Look for local information. Cairo 360 has great tips on going out, events and more in Cairo. If you're in Cairo, seek out good neighborhoods like Zamalek. Consider an Uber in favor of a taxi. This exotic North Africa country where there's high potential for terrorist violence against US citizens. According to the State Department. The State Department also warns that crime, aggressive panhandling, pickpocketing, purse snatching, street robberies, burglaries, is a serious concern, particularly in major cities and tourist areas. How to stay safe. Street smarts in Morocco are similar to other countries. Wear a crossbody bag, don't flash valuables, walk with purpose, etc. It's fairly rare for a man to physically touch you, but you should expect catcalling. The best way to deal is to ignore the person and keep moving. That said, if you feel threatened, find the closest police officer and report the incident. Clothing is a hot topic. You'll see a wide variety of it in Morocco. But it's advisable to stick with modest styles and avoid belly-bearing shirts, short shorts, and strappy tank tops. The reality is, the less you wear, the more unwanted attention you'll attract. If you lose your way, don't ask a man on the street, step into a shop or ask a woman for directions. Loitering young men are eager to make quick money helping tourists, but women out and about or shopkeepers have no ulterior motive. Learn some Arabic phrases. If you go outside the city, this will serve you better than French. However. Number 3. Jamaica. Why it's so dangerous. Popular resorts are fairly safe, but traveling beyond those borders will mean dealing with unwanted attention. Indeed, the State Department warns that violent crime is a serious problem throughout Jamaica, particularly in Kingston and Montego Bay. And even if you're staying at a seemingly safe resort, beware, according to the State Department. The U.S. Embassy received more than a dozen reports of sexual assaults against American visitors to Jamaica in a 12-month period. Most of these took place at all-inclusive resorts. Most were allegedly perpetrated by resort staff. How to stay safe. The culture can be homophobic. If you're traveling with your girlfriend, be very discreet. This is a great place for using a crossbody bag, but also not a destination where you have to be overly concerned about covering up. Number 4. India. Why it's so dangerous. India is a favorite destination for solo female travelers. But the country continues to experience terrorist activities that may impact US citizens. According to the State Department, past attacks have targeted public places, including some frequented by Westerners, such as luxury and other hotels, trains, train stations, markets, cinemas, mosques and restaurants in large urban areas. Attacks have taken place during the busy evening hours in markets and other crowded places, but could occur at any time. How to stay safe. If you go, Go with eyes wide open. Even with a companion, sexual assault remains a serious and ongoing problem. Wear long, loose clothing that covers your shoulders. Lots of female travelers we know even buy and wear Indian clothing upon arrival. Be prepared for staring, you'll likely experience a lot of it. Start and end your days early to avoid being out at night. If taking the train, purchase the highest class train tickets in advance and take women-only transportation options in cities like Delhi. Never walk alone on city streets at night. In smaller towns, try to have a male companion. Even then, this may not be enough of a precaution. Regions like Kerala and cities like Rishikesh, known for its regular influx of yoga students, are comparatively safe, as are Gujarat, Punjab, and Calcutta. Family-run guest houses can be lovely places to stay. Number 5. Peru. Why it's so dangerous: armed robberies, express kidnappings, carjackings, petty theft and credit card fraud top the list of State Department concerns in this South American country known for Machu Picchu and the Inca Trail. How to stay safe. We recommend visiting the countryside, smaller towns and mountain regions over Peru's big cities. Call an Uber or cab from your hotel, no hailing on the street in Lima. Your hotel can give you the number of a reputable company. When you're in the taxi, put your purse on the floor under your feet and store your suitcase in the trunk. Avoid flashing jewelry or other valuables. Wear costume jewelry you wouldn't miss too much and go for a less is more aesthetic. Even if you speak Spanish, pretend you don't when approached by strangers who set off your internal alarm bells. Avoid sporting events after dark, that's when gang activity is common. Don't skimp on intercity bus tickets. Cheap companies never enforce basic safety rules and the Andes are a notoriously dangerous place to drive. Always keep your valuables on you, don't put any in the stowed luggage compartment. A crossbody purse is best, it's hard for someone to simply grab it and run. Carry only the amount of cash you might need for the day when you can, otherwise, leave credit cards and extra cash in a safe at your hotel. Consider renting a cell from the airport, recommended for calling taxis. Store useful emergency numbers in it like 105 for the police and 117 for an ambulance. Number 6. Bahamas. Why it's so dangerous: the risk of traveling to the Bahamas comes as a surprise to many U.S. travelers. To flock to this chain of beautiful islands for blissful beach holidays. But New Providence, which includes Nassau and Paradise Island, has a criminal threat level, armed robbery, sexual assault, that are rated as critical by the Department of State. Crime in Grand Bahama has been on the increase. And a 2012 United Nations report said that the Bahamas has one of the highest incidences of sexual assault in the Caribbean. The U.S. Embassy has received multiple reports indicating tourists have been robbed at gunpoint or knife point in tourist locations in the downtown areas of Nassau. Several of these incidents occurred during daylight hours, says the State Department. How to stay safe. This destination is really all about the resorts, and maybe fishing trips, however, it rank low for safety. Watch your drinks and food closely when out and about. Stick to more populated areas and resorts. Number 7. Colombia. Why it's so dangerous: the list for many of the same reasons the State Department cautions against travel here, including violence linked to the domestic insurgency, narco-trafficking, crime and kidnapping that can occur in some rural and urban areas. How to stay safe. Use common sense. You might pull out a cell phone on the street in the US or hang your purse on the back of your chair, but here, those are definite no-nos. Book taxis ahead, never, ever hail them on the street. Avoid walking alone at night and, if you must, brace yourself for catcalling and other forms of street harassment. Overnight buses can be good travel options, but don't skimp. The more reputable ones cost a bit more but are safer. They check passengers for weapons at boarding, and more comfortable, reclining seats. Number 8. Ecuador. Why it's so dangerous: Ecuador to be fairly safe as compared to other destinations on our list and a place where people are friendly and supportive of tourism, says Pond. However, the State Department still says that crime, pickpocketing, robbery, hotel room theft, express kidnappings, sexual assaults, and rape are big issues here. How to stay safe. Bus travel allows people to hop on and off, so make sure you keep an eye on your valuables. Bring toilet paper and hand sanitizer everywhere. The toilet situation can be, to say the least, unpredictable. Listen to trusted locals for advice on best neighborhoods. Take particular care after dark. Number 9. Turkey. Why it's so dangerous. The State Department warns that U.S. citizens should carefully consider the need to travel to Turkey at this time. The warning goes on to explain that in 2016 numerous terrorist attacks involving shootings, suicide bombings, and vehicle burn bombings in tourist areas, public spaces, private celebrations, sporting events, and government, police and military facilities throughout Turkey resulted in hundreds of deaths. How to stay safe. Assault is not uncommon, according to this survey. Be careful. Conservative dress is critical in less urban areas. Bring a scarf and use it as a head covering if needed. For example, if you want to visit a mosque, grab taxis from well-lit, well-trafficked areas and use lowest denomination bills whenever you can. Ignore aggressive shopkeepers and restaurant owners, just keep walking. Definitely seek out a hammam experience. Most of the hammam options are either all-female or all-male, so choose the all-female time to visit. Number 10. Guatemala. Why it's so dangerous. The State Department warns that the threat of violent crime in Guatemala is critical. And while not targeted at U.S. citizens, travelers should still be careful. Since criminals in Guatemala may assume that U.S. citizens and their relatives have more money than average Guatemalans. How to stay safe. Cabs at night, arranged for via your restaurant or hotel, are advisable versus walking home alone. A tour company to take you from city to city is a great idea. Choose one with door-to-door service. Use a money belt for your valuables. While robbery is actually pretty gender neutral here, it's not a pleasant experience for anyone. Learn some basic Spanish phrases. Being able to ask for help, say hello, determine how much something costs and where the bathroom is are all valuable.